Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5, so let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, number 2 would be Fate of the Furious, number 3 would be How to Be a Latin Lover, number 4 would be Baahubali 2, The Conclusion, and number 5 would be The Circle. And I actually only got 2 out of 5 of my predictions right. What I thought was going to be an easy weekend to predict because only one big movie was coming out. Actually, I only got 2 out of 5 of my predictions right, but that's okay. Let's go over what happened. Number 1 was, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, no question there, and it made $145 million this weekend, so not only is that a bigger opening weekend gross for the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but it's also Marvel's 5th highest grossing film in the MCU, so that is very good for this movie, a big improvement over the opening of the first movie, which was already pretty huge. And on the worldwide chart, it has an opening of $427 million. And if you look at its budget of $200 million, it's already doubled that, and it's on its way to tripling that. So this movie is not in any financial crisis or anything like that. It is doing extremely well. I'm so happy that this movie is actually doing better than the first movie. That means that more people want to see more Guardian stuff. And I do too, honestly. In my review that I put out a couple days ago, I gave the movie a B. I'd honestly bump that up to a B+ now. I still think it's a really good movie that just had some flaws, but still, I'm so happy that it's made this much money because it is a good movie, no doubt about that. Number 2 is The Fate of the Furious, finally getting trumped by something on here. It made $8 million this weekend, but that adds to a domestic total of $207 million, and on the worldwide train, it's got $1.158 billion. That is outstanding for this film. It needs about 400 million more to even compare to Furious 7, and I don't know if it'll make that much more money, but from where it's at, it is still doing very well. And now we have number 3, which is a movie that I've been promising that I'd see, and I finally saw it today, and that would be The Boss Baby. It made $6 million this weekend. That adds to a domestic total of $156 million, and on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $434 million. Now, for a while now, I've been saying oh, okay, it's making a lot of money. That's to be expected because it's DreamWorks. But now that I've seen the movie, seeing how much money it made honestly kind of pisses me off. And I'm sorry to say that, but this movie really infuriated me. But obviously, it's obvious that kids would want to see this because it is a DreamWorks animated movie aimed to them. So it's no surprise that it made so much money, but it's just really aggravating because the movie is so horrible and there's better stuff for kids to see. But thank God we got Guardians now to distract from this movie. Anyways, number 4 is How to Be a Latin Lover, which made $5 million this weekend. That adds to a domestic total of $20 million, and it was actually able to double its budget of 10. So, hey, last week I didn't know what the budget was, but now I do right as they announced that they've doubled it. That's pretty good for this movie. I have no interest in seeing it at any point, but since I've seen The Boss Baby, I might as well try to see this movie too, right? Anyways, number 5, we have Beauty and the Beast, which made $4.9 million this weekend. That adds to a domestic total of $487 million, and on the worldwide chart, it is at $1.185 billion. So Fate of the Furious, you can tell, is catching up really quickly to it, so it'll make more money worldwide than Beauty and the Beast really soon. But Beauty and the Beast it still should be congratulated because it made so much money, because it is a really good movie for Emma Watson too. And then we have number 6, which is another Emma Watson movie, which is not doing so well, that being The Circle, which made $4.0 million this weekend. That adds to a domestic total of $15 million on that budget of $18 million. It still needs to get to $36 million in theory to be able to be considered a success, and now that it's dropped all the way down to number 6 and it's only making $4 million right now, that's not very good for this movie, but at least Emma Watson still has Beauty and the Beast. At number 7, we have Baahubali 2, The Conclusion, which I thought was going to stay up there a little longer because it surprised me last weekend, but nope, it made $3 million this weekend. That adds to a domestic total of $16 million. Now, I don't know what the worldwide total is because Box Office Mojo hasn't put out the worldwide numbers yet. They keep putting NA, and I don't have time to add up all of the numbers on the the separate worldwide chart, but this movie is very popular in India, no surprise about that. So I'm thinking it's doing pretty well financially. At number 8, we have Gifted, the Mark Webb indie film, the move away from The Amazing Spider-Man, which made $2 million this weekend. That adds to a domestic total of $19 million, and that's $5 million more than the doubling point of its budget. That is very good for this movie. And also number 9, Going in Style, which is probably going to have to go leave the box office in style. I'm sorry. It made $1.9 million this weekend. That adds to a domestic total of $40 million, and on the worldwide chart, it is sitting at $70 million. So it's made $20 million more than the $50 million average it needed to break even. So that is really good for this film that I honestly didn't expect to make this much money, but it did, so congratulations to that. And finally, number 10, we won't be seeing this movie anymore, I can guarantee you that. Smurfs The Lost Village, which made $1.8 million, and that adds to a domestic total of $40 million, and on the worldwide chart it is sitting at $171 million. So now that it's about to leave the top 10, we just play the waiting game and see if Sony will announce if they're going to make any more Smurfs movies or if this will be it. But now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. I'm going to say number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Once again, I'm going to say number 2 will be King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Number 3 will be Snatched. Number 4 will be Fate of the Furious. And number 5 will be The Boss Baby. What are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave it in the comments below. And if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then I'm sorry. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.